was one of the biggest earthquake we faced in our century. So millions of people affected, and recordedly more than 50,000 people unfortunately died because of the earthquake effect.
Hello and welcome to my chat show, Say Something with Mads. Every voice matters on this channel, and every week we get youth change makers, teens, anybody who has anything to share. This platform is for everyone. And today I have Okan, who is joining me from Istanbul, and he is doing great work in UNSDG goals, and we'll get to know him. And first of all, I must tell that I've been following Okan for a very long time on his. I got to know him through LinkedIn, and because of amazing work, he is here today. So, welcome to my channel, Okan. How are you feeling
Thank
today?
you. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm very good. I'm feeling very excited and looking forward to having this great conversation with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I remember the last time when we were talking, Turkey was hit with an earthquake, and it was a very horrible time for everybody. So we had to postpone the interview. Do you remember that time? What happened? Would you
Of
like to
course,
share?
of
Mm.
course, I remember. Yeah. I remember that time you asked me to have an interview, but it was not the right time, as you said.
Yeah,
And we
absolutely.
are so sorry about the natural disaster we faced.
Yeah.
It was one of the biggest earthquake we faced in our century. So millions of people affected, and recordedly more than 50,000 people unfortunately died because of the earthquake effect. And the thing is,
50,000
and
people.
50,000 people unfortunately died because of the earthquake. And the thing is, the first one at the midnight, and the other one is 9 hours later, and the magnitudes are very strong and very close. The first one is 7.6, I think. The second one is 6.7 magnitude. These two are very strong ones, and 9 hours of time because of
Mm.
the first earthquake was very strong, and we all focusing about rescue process, in first 24 hours, 48 hours, very important in terms of the emergency. But then 9 hours later another one hit. So
Yes.
it was terrible, and it was very difficult to manage.
How?
But we did our best about that, and we were so grateful about the support from worldwide in the rescue process. How is the process right now? The process is, the recovery process is still going, and most of the people started to live in tents in the area, and there was a new life status just created there. But now the buildings are restructured, and the life is trying to be stabilized as much as the government and all the foundations they can do, and they are doing their best right now to fully recover. And we are hoping to not facing these kind of strong disasters again. And we all learn about we don't have any powers to be against to nature. Nature is
Yeah,
stronger
true.
than us. We need to
Mm.
we need to secure it. We need to protect our planet, because we don't have any planet B, and we need to learn about living with planet A,
Mm.
the one we are existing. But the natural disasters are fact. We need to be
Mm.
more proactive about them, and
Mm.
wishing to not facing this again. I can say this from the Turkish earthquake
So,
period.
I mean, to experience this in one's lifetime is enough to leave a scar forever in life. Especially as as an activist, as a climate activist. How did you? Which part of Turkey was affected? Did this Istanbul also? Till the city
Mhm,
got affected, and where
mhm.
you visit? Did you visit the
Of course,
places actually?
I visited the area. Um, you can imagine that the southeast area of Turkey affected. It is bigger than most of the European countries. And
Okay.
it is not close to Istanbul, the city I
Mm.
am living. Istanbul is a big metropolitan city, and the affected 10 big cities are in the southeast area of our country. So the distance are very far away. But of course, physically we didn't feel the earthquake, but emotionally we all feel and live with that earthquake. And all the people of our country just support the people there. And I was also went to there and see the situation. And everybody just trying to do their best with their own field. And at that time, as a activists, climate and social activists, we come together and just told what we can do. And we understand that the sustainable education is a big problem in the earthquake area. So we opened education tents and fulfill the materials itself and give education to the children there with the third parties and foundation. But the food, the accommodation, clean water, there are lots of fundamental needs went there. Education can be later, unfortunately, because of the humanity. But the thing is, we did our best, and still the recovery process is going on, and we are so grateful about the support coming from the worldwide.
Right. So I never start my interview directly, but this was such an important thing to deal straight away at the beginning of the interview. But now I would like you to introduce a bit about yourself, Okan. I have read your LinkedIn and it's full of the achievements with where you are, what you are doing right now. But I would like you to speak about yourself and what does your name mean, Okan? What does it mean? So just a few lines about yourself, if you can share. Yeah,
of course,
over to
thank
you.
you very much. It's Okan from Istanbul, Turkey. I am 28 years old, social entrepreneur, working in climate technology, to create a better world for all, to tackle climate change we are facing, and bringing a sustainable future for the generations to come. From my childhood to today, I'm very passionate about creating something good for people, something good for society and planet. I always feel that in my inner heart, and in my education journey, from the primary, elementary, secondary, high school, and the university, I always think about out of the box, because the system we are in is more than 200 years old education system. What we have done until today is not helping the place we would like to go. So it means that we need to change something. But the questions we are asking doesn't help us. But we are always asking the same question. We are always talking about the same answers. So that I always figuring out different things from the different organizations worldwide, not only in Turkey. But I was one of the luckiest young person because in my 20s, early 20s, I was selected as one of the prestigious non-governmental organization in Turkey. More than 50,000 young person applied that program, and only 50 of them is select every year. I was one of them in 2015 in my early 20s. And that organization gives me the idea of how I
What's the
can
name
bring.
what's the name of this organization?
Of course, I can say again, Young Guru Academy, YGA. Young Guru Academy is the long name. The short name is YGA. It's a non-governmental Turkish organization. The aim is raising youth generation to create something good for the planet before their professional life. It can be a social entrepreneur, it can be a good leader. It doesn't matter. We all have a decision-making point, but how you decide, how you make these decisions are important with your heart and brain. So I was learning about these concepts and values in the organization, and had a chance to be a volunteer more than 5,000 hours of time. And that journey brings me who am I right now. I'm right now doing
5,000
technology.
hours.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, I will have to interrupt you here to ask you that where did the seed of bringing change, climate change start? Did you read anything, or did you see any documentary, or you spoke to somebody, or you had a teacher who influenced you, or maybe parents? Where did this first seed that I have to work for climate change? Which age was that?
It was a good question. In my childhood, I always really like to walk in the big forests. This day, I think this was the day, because in Turkey, unfortunately,
How
because of the
old were
weather
you? How
change,
old were you that time?
I think 12 or 13, 12 or 13.
Oh,
This,
from
this is the
that
age,
age you
yeah.
had this
Yeah, yeah.
in your
In
mind.
terms of the
Oh, wow.
climates, I just talk to myself and say that how is the planet is going and the weathers are changing. It just
Mm,
started at these ages, 15 years
mm,
ago, but now it's a very serious problem.
mm.
I just plant some trees, as you know, just put some seeds
Wow,
on
yes.
this.
We all do that. Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah,
start
yeah,
with
we all
that.
do that from the school education, and also my family very sensitive about that. So that every Sunday in the morning we all walk in the forests in Istanbul. There is a very good big forest, Belgrade forest in Istanbul. During these years, more than 15, 16 years of time, the experience I gain brings me who am I right now, and just brings my passion about how I can change, climate action, how we can
You
tackle
know?
it. I think the
Mm, mm,
luckiest part of my journey is the people giving me guidance have a good heart and good
mm.
intention, and also a really good vision like me to create something good. So I think the subject line is the great people surrounding myself, because of it can be climate action, climate change right now, but there are 17 goals, you know, that United
Yeah.
Nations defines, and climate change
Mm.
is one of them. What about the
Just
16 others? We need to work for both of them, but we need to
yeah,
find the reason to work on that
yeah.
because of our passion.
So you said you were chosen out of 5,000 people or 50,000 people? How
50,
many you said?
50,
And you were
50,000.
so what did you bring to the table that they selected you? What was your USP? What did you tell
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, I just tell my story and my vision and my we don't talk about, remember the interviews, we didn't talk too much about the past, because our past is not our future.
Gone. Mm,
Yeah, because of we all talk about inner potential for future, but how you bring that potential with good intention, sincerity, and your selfless effort. These are actually the values of the Young Guru Academy as well. And all the process, there was a five steps of interview application process, and the last one
oh,
is the face-to-face interview. So before that, the online forms are also every year. There is a summit of YGA. You also attend and see the vision of the organization whole day, with all the supporters are coming here and just giving their words. And at the end, the last step is just face-to-face interview. And the values I mentioned is bringing
mm,
the 50 volunteers every year. And these 50 people, 50 young potential talents, are working for the planet, for social impact driven projects to improve economic and social awareness of the disadvantaged society. It can be visually impaired, orphans, refugees, the one have problems, but also the one has ability to solve these problems, because they are the one facing the problem. So they have the insights. So we develop many projects for these group of people,
okay.
and his experience in the field brings us as a social activist in different fields as well.
So after working there, so this was a non-profit organization. You were not
Yeah.
definitely making money out of it. So what was, how, where was the money coming from? Like you are working somewhere or are you doing this? How did you balance this?
All the volunteers selected program are volunteers, so they are giving their time, effort, and energy to the project. But in order to be sustainable project under that NGO, of course there were some supporters giving funding to the NGO, but these budget is using for projects, not volunteers.
Correct.
Volunteers are not paid, as you can imagine, because of the volunteer work from our heart. It's not worth it with any price. But of course, all
Mm,
of our expenses are covered from the sponsors and supporters of the project, and the
mm.
volunteers are sustained their projects in the field.
So now let's talk about your current you are now you are CEO co-founder I think with Bahar
Uh-huh.
Carbon Gate. Let's talk about this. What did it when did it start and what do they do and what is the future you are looking at with Carbon Gate? Take us through the journey of Carbon Gate. And why is
Of
it
course.
called Carbon Gate?
Yeah, it's the gate of the sustainable world. That is why we call it Carbon Gate. And we are opening the doors of the sustainable ecosystem for all the companies, all the society we are working with. That's why we called our company name as Carbon Gate. And when you look at our logo, it's a C, but you can see the colors are changing. It's representing other parts of our world, sea, air, and sand. And you can see the Sustainable Development Goals logo also. It's the 17 color, but they are under the same vision. That is why we call as C our logo, and including all the values itself, like United Nations Sustainable Development Goals logo, and also the name Carbon Gate. How that Carbon Gate story started, actually it all exists, I think, because as you said, in my 12 and 13 years old, Okan also thought about the climate, and he always thought about what about the weather is changing and how we can just protect the fire forests about these weather changes. Because during this time, the experience I gained bring me to open that idea as a social enterprise today. What we are aiming, we are carbon footprint driven, sustainable ecosystem accelerator. We are accelerating the ecosystem, but the ecosystem is very big. And when we talk about carbon footprint, this is the major cause of the climate change right now. And we don't know about what is carbon footprint, how we can measure it, how we can improve it, how we can just help the other organizations to improve their journey. So we thought that we need to bring these concepts together under one umbrella as Carbon Gate, helping big corporate companies at least measure, track, and reduce their carbon footprint with our software as a service, software solution. And by using this solution, it's very easy to measure, track, and reduce their carbon footprint. But more importantly, they don't know these concepts. So we developed our own curriculum in terms of sustainability. They know about the regulations, greenhouse gas protocol, the standards, all the accredited companies are defined before, and it's all changed sector by sector. It can be changed for the hotel industry in sustainable tourism. It's also changed for the manufacturers. It's also changed in the e-commerce world, and it's also changed for the other marketplaces. So we all think that we need to customize this solution for different sectors, but it should be an end-to-end solution by covering the education to improve our awareness and helping them measure, track, and reduce their carbon footprint by optimizing their supply chain, even maybe providing some bio-alternative raw materials because of the raw material supply. These are the whole idea and why we started and how we are doing actually from the Carbon Gate side.
You go to the company and present them that you need to be you need to check your carbon footprints. So how you go to each company and tell them what is to do, what's not. You give them the solution and you train their people. Is that it? How it works?
Exactly.
So, as you said, you are not trained in this field, so you don't have a degree in this. So that's okay. That's okay not to have it. But how do you develop the solution? So did you learn from somewhere? Did you learn online, or did you read a lot to develop these solutions? So, take us to the solution part. How do you design this? Do you have a team with you, and how do you go about it?
Of course, I have an amazing team, 10 members of team.
10
And
members. Wow. Okay.
yeah,
At such a young
we
age, you have 10 people working on
yeah,
this. Very
yeah. And we just started 3 months ago. So in a very short time, we are just very quick and extended our team because of the potential we saw in the market. I am industrial engineer, not an environmental engineer. I wish to be. So I am the person connecting the dots and optimizing the all the journey as a supply chain and all the big picture. But the thing is, the more valuable point is having these domain experts in the environmental engineering part. We have 2 environmental engineers in our team. They are the one designing about these concepts and also all technical know-how. But as a co-founder and CEO of our company, I am also very passionate and reading lots of resources. That, for example, greenhouse gas protocol is just launched, and we need to learn about the regulation updates and which steps and which metrics needs to define for the different sectors. I am always learning day by day, because
Mm,
the sky is the limit. Everything is unstable and developing every day.
right.
Even our environmental engineers are also reading all the resources,
Mm,
because there is a really small amount of time to act climate change.
right, right.
In order to optimize and develop our process, the decision makers and regulation makers are always updating the process. But
Uh,
we know that we are in the same path, we are in the right journey. Just all the
but
domain and expertise point coming from our team members in the
true.
environmental engineer field.
But when you started only you and I think your
Mhm.
and Bahar. So both of you started together, right? But that
Yeah.
time you didn't have a team, so you had to figure out, is it going to be an entrepreneurship? You are starting something. You have to learn from somewhere, right? So it was like, but
Uh-huh.
it was it. I'm just asking because if I don't have a degree in sustainability or environmental climate change, can I
Mhm.
still do as a layman, as a person who is listening? Can they jump in later in
Mhm.
life? Maybe they have done some engineering or maybe some other field, but they feel passionate. Can they come back and start like you did?
Mhm.
So there's a
Mhm.
possibility,
Mhm.
right? Without a degree,
Yeah,
you
you
can
are
do that.
exactly. Without a degree, you can do that, but you should understand the value of the know-how, because the best
Mm,
thing is having the know-how, because that know-how brings the idea to product, and the
yeah,
experience you have brings the business model and
correct.
creating the monetization. Me and
Correct.
my co-founder, by the way, Bahar is one of our colleague, but my co-founder is Samet. You didn't met with Samet. Samet is a mechanical engineer. I am industrial engineer. So two different expertise points doesn't match in the environmental field. But the thing is, when you manage something, you need to put right people in the right point. So first thing
Ah,
we need to do is we just find the environmental engineer friends of us. And from the beginning day to today, we were working with the environmental engineer team. So we always ask them how we can structure it, how we can
it's
do,
true.
how we can design the solution. But the idea
Got it.
and the business growth strategy belongs to me and my co-founder Samet, and all the, let's say, kitchen behind us
Ah,
just design with our team members, which we are very
so you
proud to
find.
be working with them.
So you are a young leader award you got, young leader of the SDGs. Which year was this? And I
Mhm.
saw you recently also attending a summit in New York. So first, let's talk about
Mhm.
the young leader award which you got, and then go to the summit
Of course.
part which you just attended.
Mhm. Of course. United Nations Youth Envoy Office every 2 years nominates 17 young leaders in the field of 17 sustainable development goals. They are matching
Oh, every
with the
year.
goals with
Okay.
the every 2 years. Yeah, they started at 2016, 18, 20, 22. The latest cohort, which I am also in, defined and announced last year, 2022. And me and all of my 16 young other fellow leaders are working in the 17 goal. Climate change, renewable energy field, clean water, gender equality, quality education. You can define and you can find everything in the website of UN Youth Envoy website. What I suggest to all listeners, you can just search United Nations Youth Envoy Office website, and you can find all of our bio in there, and you will find all of other 17, 16 young leaders in the field
So,
of their
okay, one
project
minute.
and
You
what they're doing.
you are United Nations Youth Envoy,
Exactly.
ENVOY, Envoy.
Exactly. United Nations Youth Envoy Office. This is the office we are
Hmm.
nominating, and every 2 years they are re-adding the new cohort, and the next will be announced next year, and the applications most probably will end next year on March as last year. But I don't know when exactly they will open the application. What I suggest, you can just search on the social media UN Youth Envoy is a social media we are using very active, and we are sharing all of our projects there too. So you can find the latest
Wow,
information in
lovely.
social
I will
media.
definitely look. And what is the age limit?
Um,
Upper age limit?
17 to 29 is the age limitation. 17 to 29.
The more you talk, many people are must be struggling to do. I want to do, but I don't know how to start, where to start. So from your talk, we will know that there is nothing which can stop you, maybe from any background, anywhere. You just do it passionately. And also, when you are in this limelight, like when you are in the UN, when you are speaking, what kind did you ever think when you were starting out that you will be one day sitting in the United Nations? What was the moment like when you first entered? Was it, it's everybody's dream to be in the UN and then
Mhm.
see the whole thing. That's, it's majestic. So how, what was your first feeling? What was your biggest
Mhm.
precious memory?
I remember the moment I just speak at the stage of United Nations. It
Wow.
was very strange feeling when I look at the, let's say, all the people looking at me, waiting.
Uh,
What am I talking about? It's very strange feeling, and I just feel that I just feel very grateful about that because um, whatever you are doing, as you said, you actually don't know what comes next, but with your good intention and lots of effort, step by step, you will proceed what you are doing and getting the end in a better position.
Yeah, and then after 2 years, when your tenure is over and the new people take over, so you have
Mhm,
to be continuously, you are in touch with more and more people, what is happening around
mhm,
the world. So the real
mhm,
change, it's not like for 2 years you work and you forget about it. You have to
mhm,
continuously meeting, talking, right? That's how it will be
mhm.
always a part of your journey, right?
Of course, and this is the goal of the program. It will be a cumulative networking group actually, because for example, the latest cohort before us, I also connected with them and talking with them about how we
Yeah.
can support our dream, support our project. So the next cohort will come, and I'm sure that me and all of my 16 young leader friends will help them.
Yeah, it's an amazing journey, and I knew that I would get so much insights into how an actual climate activist, you call, and combination of technology and climate. People are passionate, but you are getting tech into it, and you're an entrepreneur also. So that's something which I wanted to highlight in our talk. So amazing, and your journey has been so inspiring, and you're just 28, and you have your own company, and a lot has been done. So, where do I see Okan in 20 years from now? What would you be doing? What is your goal? Where do you see yourself?
Uh, um, I have another wish like the one helping other people. It will be continuing because all the experience we have is a gift, and we should give it away to share with other people. It means something, and it will create wider value when you share it. Um, Not carrying, sharing is very important, I think. So in 20 years of time, I will be 48, and I just thought that I just bring and finishing the dream and story of Carbon Gate, maybe add other journey to the Carbon Gate in the other
Yeah.
fields of sustainability, and would like to help other young people, maybe as an investor, as a
Mm,
dream partner for
yeah,
them, as a
yeah.
mentor, um,
Mm,
without let's say funding process, like without investment process as well. Voluntarily, I would like to help other young entrepreneurs to open their doors because
mm,
10 years ago the entrepreneurs achieved 5 or 6 years of time, but now entrepreneurs doing same thing in 3 maybe 2 years of time because of the experience are transferred from their mentorship, and
yeah.
the next entrepreneurs in the 10 years will do in a year, maybe 6 months of time, because of their acceleration, because of the technological know-how and the change of our world.
Right.
So it should be very fast and fast, and we need to be fast because of the global crisis are getting so serious and we don't have any time. So
Mm,
in 20 years of time, I would like to keep doing what I am doing right now, being a
mm,
very good learner, having a
mm,
high passion about sustainability, doing a great things for planet and people, and
mm,
giving back the know-how, experience I have to open new doors for the other young people because they have higher energy, because they have higher potential that rather than us. Like
mm,
the people doing to us right now, we should give
mm.
it back to the other young people in
Wow.
the 20
Yeah,
years of time, I
yeah.
think.
Right. So mentoring, motivating, and as you said, from your journey, people can take it forward and do it in a much shorter time. That's a beautiful thought you said, that time is getting shrunken because everybody is now in the era of sharing knowledge. Everything is available. You just have to ask, and people are there to help
Mhm.
you. But you need to take that first step to ask. The more you ask, I took the step. Okay, you'll be on my channel, and you said yes. So unless you ask, nothing is going to happen, right?
You're right.
All right.
You're right.
So amazing, amazing. What do you think when you are working for so many years now in this field? What is that one thing you think youth need to think about? I'm not talking only about climate change. What is that one thing
Mm.
which they have to look forward to change? Is it their lifestyle? Is it the way they're thinking? In the people are just wasting so much time. I won't say I am not doing so. I'm not perfect either. Watching reels mindlessly, wasting so much of precious time. You have only 24 hours, so we have to consciously give that time from your pleasure seeking activities to something which should not be too late.
Mhm.
So what is that one thing which you think that youth should focus on right now, other than their education? Yes, how to
Mhm.
bring that inner change?
Inner changes always happen after the experience we faced. In order to have this experience,
Yes.
we need to be practical learners, not a theoretical learner, because right now we can find everything in book. But what about by look? When you look something in other perspective in the life, when you experience, um, you cannot find everything in book because the life is
Mm,
not written. What
mm,
I suggest to other young people, um, so of course the books are very important. I'm not saying this. The books,
mm,
reading book is amazing. I am also reading books regularly. But the thing is, life experience in the field is more important right now. And
more important,
in the world
yes.
of technology, with ChatGPT, with artificial intelligence, we can find everything with one click, with 1 second.
Mm,
If you would like to learn anything, just one click and 1 second is enough. But how
mm,
you use this technological know-how is important for a
mm,
destructive reason, for a betterment of the world. That point is, I think, the point that I would like to suggest to all young people. Um, they should work voluntarily without taking any money. They will give their time, they will give their energy and experience to the other people. It's a very good emotional thing we need to feel. And the
absolutely.
second thing is having this field experience with our expertise.
Mm,
I'm not talking about engineering. It can be an artist and playing a
mm,
piano. It can be a sportsman just playing a basketball, but not watching a series of basketball lessons, playing a
yeah,
basketball and playing
yeah.
with the people, not
Mm,
competing with them, competing yourself by learning
mm,
from the great people doing these
mm,
things amazingly. I think the point is very important. I can mention and emphasize. And the passion inner heart of us uh,
yes.
should keep going and feeding what we are doing. So you need to find your passion and combining that passion with great effort.
So that one line is very, very important, which you said, and I think that's the crux of the whole talk. That
Mhm.
go out there and experience what the world is
Yeah,
experiencing, rather than sitting in the comfort and reading, reading, reading. You can get a number of degrees, but what is happening in the field? Why? And volunteering is something along with your education. Also, people can volunteer. It's not that you have to volunteer. There's no time.
exactly.
Even today, anybody at any age can volunteer for any good cause. That's amazing. Okay, now I would like you to ask me a question. This is something I look forward to with my young interviewees. What do they get for me? So this is something is very, very, very
Mhm.
interesting part of this. Let's see what you have for me.
I can ask that. I always ask a question to the people. I have this kind of deep conversation. Mm, and I really like the quote of Pablo Picasso. Maybe I would like to mention that quote and the last question. It means more. The thing is, oh, sorry. Huh. Um, the Pablo Picasso says that the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. I was mentioning about the giving back to the planet. But the thing is, maybe I can ask to you, what's your gift? What is the gift you feel you found it and proceeded to give it away to the other people surrounding yourself? Maybe I can ask the question about you. What is
Yeah.
your gift?
You know, at this point of my life, I'm 54 and I've seen things, traveled the world. By God's grace, I'm not working for money. At this age, you are comfortable in your life. You have been doing certain things, but the purpose, as you said, it's always been something. I don't know. It's not very tangible as yet. I'm still working towards it, but I think that for me, every person has a story, every person has a back, comes from somewhere, and to know them, to know how they are functioning, to mind, for me knowing their mind is very important for a person. So that is my personal journey, to give that comfort to the people, to talk to them about anything. Like, okay, there people are going through a lot in their life. If I can be one to give them a little bit of happiness, little bit of comfort, little bit of space to be themselves, so I want to be that person. So let's see, I'm trying my best, because that's motivates me to change one person. After the interview, maybe you will remember that I had this interview and I felt good. So for me, that giving that happiness for that person, one person at a time, is something I'm looking for. I meet people, I give them comfort, I talk to them, I listen to them, so there is somebody who is there to listen. So I think I'm doing that.
Wow, that's a great answer. Thank you very much.
Lovely question. It doesn't seem like a big purpose, but for me, it's very
Of
core
course,
of what I. All
of course,
right.
of course.
We had a lovely conversation, and I'm going to look up a lot of things after this, just like my viewers should do it by now. Youth Envoy, first of all, and then NGO where you worked, and of course, Carbon Gate and their work. I'll be following you and your work, and
Thank you.
it's been a pleasure, and it's worth waiting for so many months to have you here. I hope you had a
Thank you very
great
much.
time. And it was
Yeah.
pleasure talking to you, Okan. You come as a very passionate, from grounded person. There is no there is no there is nothing which you have not done, you have not spoken. It is something which you speak from your experience, and that's the beauty of your
Thank
personality
you.
you bring to the show. People can
Thank you.
talk a lot of things, but actually have they done it is what makes a lot of difference.
Mhm.
Right. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for coming here.
You're welcome.
Keep in touch, and I will be following you. And I hope my viewers follow
Thank
you
you very
too.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you very
I hope
much.
you had a good
It's
time. How would you end it?
yeah,
What would you say? You can you
yeah,
repeat the quote of Pablo Picasso? I really loved it.
yeah, of
We'll
course.
end with
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
quote.
The quote is the purpose of life is to find your gift, and the meaning of life is to give it away.
Wow, lovely. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank
So with
thank you
this,
very much.
we we come to the end of our this episode of Say Something with Mads, and let's hope for another youth change maker, another person who brings something new to the table next week. And as I say before I end my show, every week, do a little bit about the planet from your end, or whatever you can. It can be saving water, it can be stop wasting food. Do it at your home and see the change you can bring. Thank you, Okan. Thank you so
You're
much. Bye
welcome.
bye.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.